and your beast is gnawing at you. It is not happy with how long you have taken to satisfy your needs.
That is fine. If all goes according to plan, that will alleviate itself soon enough. Focus is what's required now.
So, you are the first to wake from your day sleep. And when you do find that Wolf is not present in the Haven.
A pang of worry runs through me, but seeming as how things ended last night, I think I should give him his space. I
Hmm.
mean, it's a small house after all, and I don't know what goes on behind his head, but I need a feed. Need a feed bad.
Yeah, you're at, your beast has been gnawing at you for a couple of days now. It's been kind of clawing at the back of your throat, asking you, please, satisfy me.
And I'm really hungry. I'm afraid to go out alone, but I know if I don't take care of this, if I don't just sate it for a moment, I don't know what could happen.
Hmm. The more it claws, the stronger it gets. The harder it'll be to resist. So do you
Okay.
plan to... What do you plan to do about that?
I need a I need to sate my thirst. Before Delgado comes, I want to be as presentable as I can, not make things more difficult.
That's definitely a good goal. So do you plan to go by yourself? And how do you plan to do so?
Well, I imagine Em just pacing in the living room, looking out the windows, or not really, just wishing she could. It's not safe to go alone, but I need to do this. I need to
Hmm.
before it gets too much farther along. Maybe I'll wait for Urien and see what he plans to do if he wakes up soon. But if he doesn't, I'll have to act on my own.
Okay. How long do you wait?
Maybe about in 2 hours.
Okay, it's long before that Urien does get up from his own day sleep. And uh, is there anything else you plan to do before Urien wakes?
Could I go visit the Thin Blood?
Yeah. It seems that Urien also spent the night down there as well.
Yeah.
He did say he would.
Mm-hmm. Silly, silly brain. She just kind of stares at them, I guess.
Alfonso
Just
does
waiting.
seem to be kind of stirring awake, and Urien will be stirring here soon as well.
Hmm.
Do you just watch them as they stir?
Oh, this is so difficult. Sorry. I'm debating if I really want to do something. I guess she'll walk over to Alfonso, trying to be quiet about it, and gently move his shoulder
He
to
is
try to rouse him awake.
he is stirring a little bit, not quite fully alert just yet. What? He
Are
just kind of blinks.
Alfonso,
Yeah,
did you sleep well?
I sat upright this whole time. What do you think?
Well, I just try to be. She just kind of twiddles her thumbs and looks at him and gets in a really hushed tone. Listen, there's some stuff that's gonna go down today. And it's not super serious, don't freak out. But I want to tell you that Urien has your best interest at hand. And I would ask you to cooperate with him, to aid him in whatever is going to happen.
Really? My best interest in mind.
Do you want to live? Do you always want to run?
Well, no, I don't always want to run, and yes, I want to live. I mean, that's kind of the point, right?
Listen, I'm. When I met Urien, I was living that reality. And he has made it stop. So, as one person who runs to another, just put your faith in him for once. Take it easy on us, please.
Sure. Whatever you say, lady.
If we get out of this, just consider that if you handle this well, I'll owe you a little favor. Got it?
Cool.
And favors make the world go round here.
Yeah, cool. Alright, I'll be chill.
Cool. Thank you. And she just kind of nods and tries to walk back upstairs quietly before waking Urien. If Urien hasn't woke yet.
Uh, would it be safe to assume that about the same time as our dear Thin Blood has been awake, Urien is as well?
Yes, you have.
Okay. So all you're going to notice, Em, is that Urien is still sitting in that chair, facing the Thin Blood from his side, at the corner of the room. And he hasn't moved. But you do... He's out of view of the Thin Blood, but his eyes are open. He's expressionless. Just listening, observing, pondering.
She continues her way up the stairs.
Okay. Em goes up the stairs. Urien, you are left alone, awake, with your...
I give it a moment. Sorry. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
I wait, just for a moment. Enough to give at least the thought that I have not heard what I have heard. Before I stand, I check over myself as I feel each muscle, each bone bring back movement, the wonders of life.
A daily routine.
He begins to move towards the Thin Blood.
He sees you
Behind
approach.
him. Alfonso.
Urien,
Tonight.
right?
Yes. Urien Doyle. I am so pleased that you remember my name. Wish us all luck this evening. And I only hope, from what you've taken, that you have much blood still left in those veins.
Feeling a little bit peckish.
I need to double check my character sheet at this point. Because... Let's see. That doesn't reveal that information. No. Well, to prepare you, I need you to understand. By the end of the night, you have two things that could potentially happen. One no longer makes any of this your problem, but I think we're trying to avoid that. The second is that you will end up being famished. But should you survive, I will see to it that you will end up finding your fill.
Wait, what?
He starts walking up the stairs.
What? What? What are you talking about? What?
He closes the door behind him. Takes a moment. There's a bit of hesitation. Maybe anxiety. A moment where the thrill of what is about to transpire. He can feel the beast gnawing at him. He has to tell himself patience. Patience.
Why wait? He's right there.
Because if I were to wait, I have more to gain. I have more that I can take. And why take now when you can take forever?
For the moment, your beast is silent.
It always comes back to blood. The young ones forget this. They only worry about it when they hunger, but they do not take the time to ascertain, to establish. Unfortunately, Urien requires other such methods. But soon enough, he closes the door. Or he presses his hand on the closed door. Takes a breath before walking over, trying to locate him wherever she may have gone. Where is Wolf?
Em is just kind of pacing around in the front room area.
Have you seen our comrade?
No, he was gone when I woke.
Suspicious.
Perhaps he just needs time.
Perhaps. I only hope that he is alright. I was more inclined to have him with us. This is going to be a hard lesson to learn. And I do apologize, this will be a gamble. But a necessary one if we are to be long term in this city.
I believe that you can handle this, Urien. And I know that's a lot of pressure on you, but if there's anyone I can assume knows what they're doing, it sure as hell is you.
It comes down to the thin blood. If he hungers too much, he will be gone. If his blood is too thin, he will be gone. And if Delgado loses control, he will be gone. Today, is the lesson of theater. Perception. It is not what is that has ever been important to kindred. We have always been of superstitious lot. Facts and figures have always ended up trying to make their way in. But when you realize that you are beyond truths, you exist when the world's truths say you should not. Superstition tends to run high. So we must create the perception of ourselves. This coterie we call the host. Do you understand?
I suppose. So we should be worrying about the thin blood then.
We should be worried on how we hold ourselves. Kindly when we can be. To purpose, always. And, well, I may be a little rusty, but I do miss the game. When Baron Delgado gets here, I wish him every amenity I can. And, hopefully, if I understand Delgado as he needs to end up having a certain degree of etiquette, of politeness, that is something we can give to our advantage. He cannot appear weak, and so neither can we. I will lay that burden on myself. When you are ready to take it, it should be something you have chosen and knew what you were giving up, not something forced.
I understand.
For now, we prepare ourselves. Tell me, young one, have you fed?
It's been a while. Far before we got him, Alfonso.
He checks the clock. He knows what time Delgado will arrive. Do we have enough time to feed?
You should have enough time. Delgado did let you know that he'd be arriving around 10:30, and it's about 9 right now.
I keep the key to the bike lock wrapped around that thin blood's neck. I make sure the doors are locked. We cannot go far, and we must make haste. It will be trickier, but we cannot afford to lose him. And if you need a spotter, I will be there. I wish it was Wolf, far more capable, but alas, it is us two. He can't help but worry that he's giving the Thin Blood a chance to escape, but he needs M on her game. In the worst case scenario, he needs M on her game. She can't be distracted by hunger. As he tells his own beast, soon, very soon.
I look forward to it.
I did promise Delgado dinner and a show.
So, are you going out into your domain then to hunt?
Yes, but we will keep closer to the haven.
Closer
It's
to the
not something I'd like to do, but it is something I have to do. It's at this point I will hunt for M. M will assist me in such a way.
Okay.
I will use my knowledge of the area as I know this domain extremely well. And I will investigate. I am not picky as to what M consumes so long as she consumes.
Okay. And are you looking for? You're not looking for anyone specific. You're looking for the first thing that comes.
First thing that comes that is safe to consume.
Okay. So,
Em may have her difficulties, but at this point I need her fed.
so let me know how exactly you're going to be doing this. Are you stalking in an alleyway?
I am keeping to the outer echelons. There is, I can imagine that there's a lot of homeless and those who take up residence in between the lights of the city and the slight rural area that we inhabit. Trying to stay just on the outside of the light, which serves our purposes just fine.
And given the knowledge that you have with your domain and how keen your particular memory is, Urien, you don't necessarily have a problem finding these people. It's just a matter of how do you want to do this?
Mm. At this point, using M, sometimes we need to give in to our baser urges. Humans are no different. M is a beautiful woman,
Mm.
yet in her condition, I can only imagine on how many heads she would turn. And I have no doubt one of the boys would find her tasteful. Hopefully she finds him the same, but nevertheless they are simply bags of meat. It is good enough. I will I will lead them in ceremony, finding one who seems so ostracized and alone, and having myself and M approach them. M, wouldn't you be comfortable offering aid to such a lonely soul?
She pauses and just kind of tries to compose herself.
You will be fine.
Absolutely.
That stand tall. Your power. This is yours to command. This is simply, what would they kind say? Fast food. Grab quickly, drink quickly, move on. Leave them with no memory, if you must. But we are simply taking what is ours.
And she gets ready and approaches.
And if you want to roll it or I can roll it, your choice how you want to go about this.
I'm down to roll it. Let's
Okay.
take those
Then
chances.
I'll assist with the +1.
Then M, go ahead and roll me a manipulation plus subterfuge.
Mm-hmm. Manipulation plus
Subterfuge, yep.
Subterfuge, skill, center column, bottom.
It'll behave, my computer.
Yeah. It's weird. We say trait, then we say skill, but on the character sheet, you click the skill and then you add the trait.
Yeah, roll 20's weird like that.
My computer's doing some weird stuff. Hold on, folks.
Come on, Delgado will be here any moment.
Oh my gosh.
If it's having a super freak out, I can roll it for you if you need me to.
Yeah, it's having a super freak out. I apologize.
You're
It's
good.
not like freaking up anything.
He has a +1 for the assistance.
+1 plus for assist. Okay.
And if she has any specialties.
Nope.
Fantastic. That's 8. Only. Well.
Yeah, it's a difficulty 3 check.
That is a shame.
Yeah, this particular one isn't biting, so
Well,
it's about
thankfully.
a half hour spent.
If we make one more attempt, I will do so with her aid.
Okay, how
Um,
exactly are you going to be presenting this idea, Urien?
mm, I will lead them. I will lead one out of his troubled mind and give him a chance to end up indulging in a fantastic romp of something far greater than he ever expected. I can promise wonders. Drugs, yep, alcohol, the pleasures of flesh. It is all to be imbibed. You've only lived once after all. But what Em is, oh, she is quite dull. And something that is quite ravenous, I assure you. She won't say no to anything.
Okay. Then go ahead and roll me a manipulation plus subterfuge, and if you succeed, I have to look up rules
Would it be
here.
would it be leadership at that point?
Yeah, manipulation leadership works
Okay.
too.
+1. There we go.
That
3
is
successes.
your success. Now I need to look up some rules. Because I was not prepared for this.
You're asking about resonance and strength?
No, I am doing whether or not you can actually pass at Humanity 7 if you can actually perform sex or not.
Humanity 7? No problem. Needs a rouse check, but that's it.
You need to make a dexterity plus charisma test at Humanity 7 versus their composure.
What was it? Dexterity plus what?
Charisma for M.
Okay. I believe you get to roll on that one.
Yep.
Me? Yes?
Yes.
Okay.
Roll dexterity plus charisma, difficulty 2.
Okay. So modifiers would be like, oh, just difficulties.
Also, M,
zero.
are you using Blush of Life?
Do I have that?
That's
Is
every kindred. Yep.
Oh,
Every kindred could use a rouse check, and suddenly, guess what? Your body's warm.
You feel
Everything
alive.
works like it was if you were alive.
I think that would be a wise decision.
I would say so.
Yeah. So roll a rouse check before you roll the dice.
Okay.
You might want to know on how much hunger you want to take out of them.
Mm-hmm. You are
Oh,
successful.
you're fantastic.
Okay. And modifiers are 0, right?
Modifier 0, yes. Unless you have a modifier that applies to this kind of a situation.
Nah. I'll just go ahead and roll.
Oh my god, that's a bestial crit.
Oh, hey, that just means that she gets to be rough with them.
You do.
They might. Maybe he's into that. Oh no. He jokes when he ends up watching this. I warned you she was ravenous.
So yeah, he's definitely into it, and he's definitely into the bit of roughhousing that goes on as well. So he is definitely convinced that there is nothing wrong here. And how much are you taking, Em?
How much can I take? Like, how does...
Up to you.
I don't want to drain him completely. I don't want to leave a dead body.
2 is the safe amount. Anything past that, and
You're risking. Yep.
risking. Might need to put him in the hospital.
And over the last couple of weeks, Urien would have instructed you, if you didn't already know.
Okay.
I think 2 would cover you.
Yeah.
Back down to 1. You got to remember the only way to remove that last one is you need to kill him.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah.
So at this point, there's no point in taking 3 without just saying, screw it, I drain him.
Yeah, I'll just take 2 then.
Okay, so you're down to 1 hunger. Perfect.
Very well.
Alright, perfect. So, having spent some time getting to know some of the local populace, you make your way back to the Coterie Haven. It's probably been about an hour and a half that you've been out. And, yeah. Delgado hasn't arrived as of yet, so what do you wish to do?
Fantastic. I check on the thin blood first, making sure to unlock in.
Okay. Yeah, you go to the door of the cellar, and the door is still locked.
I go down there to check. I need to see him still there with my own eyes.
Okay. So you open up the door and you go down, and he's still there. That chain around his neck, around the support beam. Are you gonna let me out?
Very soon. I am currently setting a table.
What's for dinner?
He closes the door.
Fuck you.
He rests his back against the door as he hears that. Looks to him. He's pretty sure he heard that, or he ended up hearing that. You know, the worst part is, I'm kind of inclined to agree with him.
He's just a little... I don't know. I'm not a big fan of him.
That's fantastic. Well, he is Wolf's responsibility, and Wolf is not here. So I guess that ends up falling to you if you are willing to accept the responsibility.
Of him being my problem.
No more than you mind.
And how would I go at this?
Have you not been observing? My wonderful Malkavian, my mad friend. You are... What will happen tonight is again the display. What a secret I will share with you. When it comes to all of Kindred, there is one thing that rules us all. Perception. If you are perceived weak, you best be strong. If you perceive yourself strong, only let it show a little. But no one must take your measure fully at any time. To give them your full measure is to remove, well, what power you do have. Tonight, I hope to give a wonderful, entertaining moment. But if it were to go south, well, we will see what we can do. I planned for a failure, and I hope for success. But you, my dear, I wonder what you will plan. What concoction you have for the evening. He opens the window just to observe so he can watch.
There is a knock at the door.
He closes the shutters. It is time to begin. He walks to the door and opens it.
And there is Baron Delgado right at the door.
Fantastic. Baron Delgado, honored we are to have you in our haven.
Ah, yes, Mr. Doyle. Thank you very much for inviting me.
Please do come in.
He gives you a slight nod and walks in the door.
As Baron Delgado come alone as I close the door.
So far as you can tell.
I sense the unseen.
And he is indeed alone.
Baron Delgado, he opens a seat. If you'd be so kind.
Thank you. Thank you, thank you.
He opens up a chair right beside the table that would be seating between him, Delgado, and the furthest seat. And so this way he seats himself. Would you be kind enough to bring us our wanton murderer?
Absolutely.
If he gives fuss, let me know. I will handle it quickly.
Yes. Does she have the bike lock for him?
Nope, he tosses you the key.
And she snatches it with one hand and hurriedly goes towards the door and goes to fetch the thin blood.
His name is Alfonso. He
Alfonso.
was embraced. Yes, you are familiar with the name.
I believe so. It's not the first time that I've heard that name.
When was the first?
It's been a little while back. It's hard to quite recall. But he's been a little bit of a problem child, from what I understand.
Well, I can only imagine. Do we know who this thin blood sire is?
I am not fully aware, no.
I will have to end up investigating the matter after the fact. But right now, I would sooner see this distasteful matter settled quickly.
As would I.
So, we're in agreement.
Yes.
Baron Delgado.
If you find that this child is orphaned, that might be some extenuating circumstances.
How so?
Well, typically, a sire, even amongst us anarchs, is slightly responsible for their child.
Alas, we have to still. You still have to determine who his sire is.
Yes.
And this problem child has committed atrocities before.
Yes.
Where? To whom? If I only knew, I would have prepared him sooner. Perhaps brought him to you in manacles.
No such indignities are necessary.
Oh, how gracious of you, Baron Delgado.
Yes. Everyone deserves their dignity.
Yes, but justice must prevail, especially in one who is so dignified.
That it must.
And he looks to the door as he's pretty sure M would be bringing up the child there now.
Okay, and that's where you do go down the stairs, and he is sitting there, just kind of looking at you.
Alfonso, I have a key. And she holds it up and walks to him and begins to undo his lock. I guess now's kind of your time to shine.
In what
What?
manner? I mean, what in the heck is even going on right now? What am, you haven't exactly explained what it is that's going on.
I don't have much time, but as long as you are cooperative and plead your case as innocence or something, I don't know. I'm trying to watch out for you, dude. It's a
Innocence.
hard world.
Okay, I can do that. Maybe.
So, just follow Urien's lead, and hopefully this will go well. And if so, I owe you one.
So follows his lead. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Cool? You gotta be cool?
Yeah, I'll be cool, I guess.
Alright. And she finally unlocks it and takes it off and almost goes at his neck to gently rub it to try to make him feel better, but knows that's pretty weird. So she backs off quickly.
Mm-hmm. He stands up, kind of stretches a little bit, and kind of cocks his neck to both sides, trying to crack it, but it doesn't seem to make any noise. Lead the way.
How about you just go up the stairs and I'll follow you?
Cool. I was trying to be a gentleman, but all right. And he goes to go up the stairs. Do you follow?
Mm-hmm.
All right. And Urien, you see as Alfonso, closely tailed by M, come up the stairs and shut the door behind them.
Fantastic.
And Alfonso just kind of looks between you and Delgado and kind of turns around to M a little bit, kind of nervous.
Mr. Alfonso, please take a seat.
Alfonso kind of walks up to the chair and slowly sits, and Delgado just kind of watches him with that piercing gaze.
Alfonso, do you understand why you are here?
Kinda.
Allow me to make an introduction. This is Baron Delgado. He is who rules over this domain, and we oversee this small portion of it. Now,
You see Baron Delgado give a little bit of a nod to Alfonso, and Alfonso just kind of stares a little bit.
greet the Baron properly, Alfonso. You do not wish to offend, especially one who has ruled over this territory with ageless wisdom.
You flatter me.
I hear flattery will get you everywhere in this day and age.
Try not to rely on it too much, Mr. Doyle.
Oh, I have no intention.
And Alfonso just kind of nods and says, "Pleasure to meet you, Baron Delgado." Delgado kind of steeples his fingers and just watches Alfonso for a moment, kind of assessing him, figuring out what exactly he's looking at when he looks at him. Alfonso never really makes eye contact. His eyes kind of just dart a little bit. He's shifting in his seat. He's nervous.
Alfonso,
Mm-hmm.
you stand guilty of theft of what belongs to Delgado, what I am to oversee. You are charged with the breaking of the masquerade, a tradition all kindred hold most dear. This is an unforgivable crime in most courts. Most would not give a thin blood a visit to assess their own character. Delgado is truly merciful in that regard, as he has come to oversee you personally. That being said, Urien stands with a small bow to Delgado, walks behind Alfonso, placing his hands on Alfonso's shoulders, feeling the tension. He leans in a little bit to make sure Alfonso can hear him as he looks to Baron Delgado.
Alfonso tenses under your grip.
It's quite alright, Alfonso. Baron Delgado, you said that this child was responsible for a headache of yours previously, yes? That this
Yes.
was not the first time.
Not at all. This is multiple offenses.
Do they all pertain to masquerade?
They all pertain to being untidy. With one would think, after several offenses, that one would learn how to clean up their own mess, he says to Alfonso. And Alfonso just kind of shrinks a little bit.
Yeah, Urien kind of rubs his shoulders a bit, like, relax, Alfonso, relax, as he looks to Baron Delgado. I believe Alfonso here has not been suitably trained.
That much is clear.
Now, the question is if Alfonso's sire were to be here and attest that, oh, this was a mistake, the punishment would fall on him. But Alfonso is the one who ended up breaking the rules and has no one to speak to it. As such, let us start with the least of the charges. You stolen from me, from Baron Delgado. You stolen blood from our domain. Yes.
I didn't know.
Yes, you did steal blood from our domain, Alfonso.
Yeah, I guess if you're in charge of the ball or whatever.
Good. He understands Baron Delgado. He can be taught.
Like, why is that theft? I don't really have a place.
He looks to Baron Delgado and lets Baron Delgado ruminate on that.
He does for a moment. Mr. Doyle, you did offer to look in to see who begot this child, yes?
If it were to serve the purpose. But even if we did give this child to their sire.
Obviously, they're incompetent.
Yes. And such incompetence has not arisen in your domain, has it, outside of this one?
Hmm. No, I'd run a tight ship.
Very well then. I believe first and foremost we return what was stolen. And it's at this point, before Alfonso can react, Urien sinks his fangs directly into Alfonso's neck,
Okay.
right in front of the Baron. His eyes glow red as the eyes flare up, his fangs are out, and he starts to feed on Alfonso.
Okay, so I am going to ask for you to make an opposed roll for me. It's going to be your strength plus brawl
Mhm. It's
versus
just gonna be.
his dexterity athletics to dodge. Or
I
to.
already have a grip on him.
Yeah. You do have a grip on him, so I'll give you that +2.
Okay. And we're going to do. Um,
And then also
So
+1
we're
for
doing-
surprise.
okay. Plus strength, +3. Did I get anything? Okay, what's he rolling? He's got 2.
It's 2 versus 2. You're the aggressor, so you win.
I am going to take 2 points of blood out of Alfonso.
Taking 2 points. All right.
And I'm going to stop at 2.
Let me pull up that character sheet. All right. I will ask you to make the roll one more time, just to make sure that you can get both, because it's going to take 1 point per round.
Okay.
You do still have a grip on him, and you do have that +2 still. For
And
already
I
having your
believe he
fangs
needs
in.
to roll a composure plus resolve.
Oh,
Because he's currently being fed off to get over the euphoria. Is that not correct?
I am going to roll it anyway, because I don't know.
Still 2.
You're still the aggressor. And
Alright.
he's locked in. He's not really fighting at all, so you do get both those points.
And it's at this point he licks the wound shut and he places Alfonso down on the table. Make sure to keep a grip on him. He's literally pushing Alfonso over the table just in front of Baron Delgado. Alfonso's blood still upon his mouth as he looks to Baron Delgado with those blood glowing eyes. And I did promise. You did promise to accept dinner, Baron Delgado. And he looks to Baron Delgado.
I will have a taste, yes. And so the Baron stands up, and while Alfonso is dazed, he does sink his teeth in, does drink for a moment, but stops prematurely.
Urien, make sure that Baron Delgado does not overdo it.
Yes, Baron Delgado is very aware of his own hunger levels, and does not really indulge all of that much. He does take a sip.
Alfonso, what was stolen has been...
He's just dazed on the table.
Alfonso, hear me now. What was taken has been recovered. That sin is forgiven. But I want you to remember this hunger, and know that rash action brought you naught but humiliation. And if it were not, he'd make sure that Alfonso can see Delgado. If it were not for the mercy of this man, this wise Baron, who insisted on seeing you. If you were in any other domain, you would have been Ash, and he would not have even known your name.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. The fuck? Oh god.
Now, he doesn't let go of Alfonso. In fact, he's kind of pressed up against him, on top of him, almost like a cat over a mouse when he's looking at Delgado with those glowing eyes. Blood still on his extended fangs. Now it's Baron Delgado. This one has realized an error and has not been educated. And as such, I will end up pointing to my two children, one of which has joined us this night. Wolf was instrumental in apprehending Alfonso, and M's insight, clever as she was able to end up covering up all trace. Given how sloppy Alfonso has become, I think it is only fair that my students become his teacher. His life, I claim, or let it be forfeit.
You think your charges are ready for that responsibility?
There is only one way to learn that responsibility, Baron Delgado. And if a thin blood is too much for them, then I would be a poor educator myself. And given our results, I think that speaks more openly.
You were very quick to deliver, Mr. Doyle. I will allow it.
Alfonso, your life's boon is accepted by Urien Doyle. And your first moment of payment, he slides off a bit and forces his head to look towards Sam, is to accept a gift of blood from my own charge. He looks to Sam, gesturing, do it.
She abides.
Feed him enough that his beast won't take over. And we will teach you from scratch, Mr. Alfonso.
She grabs the closest object she can and cuts open her hand and shoves it in Alfonso's mouth forcefully.
Okay. So Alfonso, I think, has to make a hunger frenzy. He's at hunger 4.
Don't worry, I'll assist on that one.
I think I'm doing that right.
It would be his current unspent willpower.
Yeah, that rolled the wrong dice.
+1.
Okay.
Depending on his humanity. And if his humanity is 6, then I believe he gets a +1.
Yeah, because I did the willpower value plus the humanity bonus, and it rolled the wrong dice. So
Okay.
So I'm rolling total humanity at this point.
Okay.
That's better. That's more dice. But he still does not succeed. So He starts to drink deeply from the wound on your hand, as deeply as one can suck vitae through a non-artery, and uh, does not look like he wants to stop. What do you do?
I look to Urien. Not say anything, but I'm looking for a cue.
He nods to you. He take control of the situation. Bring him to heal.
All right.
And Urian's not going to let him go, not willingly. So
Let me see. And do any of the disciplines work on Thin Bloods? Just curious.
they work, but it depends. Frenzy gives them huge bonuses against aim
Mm.
mind alteration.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep.
So, like his resistance to, for instance, compel to stop would be +3 of his normal dice pool.
Right.
But if you have something like Quell the Beast or something like that, then that's a different story entirely.
Um. All right. Sorry, I'm trying to think.
It's okay. Gain control of yourself, Alfonso, before you embarrass yourself further.
Are you taking any actions, or are you just letting it happen right now?
Yeah. Oh, I'm gonna take an action. I'm just trying to see what I should do. I'm looking at my stats.
Okay, that's fine.
I mean, like, would I be able to kind of like nail him right in the jaw with a fist to get him to drop it?
That would be a strength brawl
Mm-hmm.
if you want to make that.
I think I can do it. Okay.
Okay.
Strength, brawl, and do I have any bonuses or whatever?
Urian's pinning, so he's assisting.
Yep, you get the +1, and he will. He will, I think, strength athletics to
Well,
maintain his grip at +3
will
for
he?
frenzy.
Will he try and fight the frenzy, or is he riding the wave?
You're right. He probably should roll if he's going to resist it. So let me roll him.
If he's wanting to, but given the fact that
You kind of made
his
it
life's been
clear
spared.
he can hear you, so he's probably going to resist.
Yeah. Oh,
He still can't maintain control himself.
yeah. This is going to take some effort.
Okay,
So
I'm gonna speak to him real quick. Alfonso,
he's not listening
remember.
to you.
Oh, he's not? He's not? Okay.
There's just a ravening monster in human
Ravening.
skin
Yep,
right
he is
now.
tearing apart your
Alright.
arm at this point.
I will go for that punch then.
Go for it.
Okay.
Modifiers 1?
No, actually, because I
Oh,
would be
0.
getting a separate round now.
Okay.
But every time Alfonso takes an action in a round, he's reducing his dice pool every time.
It's true.
So
You're gonna take. Is it superficial or aggravated damage for bites?
aggravated damage for bites if he's deciding to bite, but he's also at a -2 dice pool for biting. It's -2.
He already
Oh
had a
yeah,
grip.
no, you're right.
Yep.
You already had a grip, so yeah. No, that would be aggravated.
Yep. You
Could
take.
I like roll any willpower or anything like that?
You'd be
You
able to roll
could.
1 dice to reduce that damage if you can.
I would like to do that.
Okie dokie.
So do I just do the willpower or willpower reroll?
Willpower, reroll 1 die.
Yep. Let's see if you can reduce that damage a bit more. There you go. So that reduces it to 2 points of aggravated health damage.
Mm-hmm.
Urien, what are you doing?
If this is the case, I am going to literally bring my hand over the top of his head. Since his fangs are already preoccupied, I'm going to place my fingers in his eye sockets, I'm gonna wrench his head back to make him let go.
Okay. Give me a strength brawl.
Yeah, that's not my strong point, but this is why I wish that this is why I wish Wolf was here.
Mm-hmm.
One success, and he's got to roll strength brawl at a -1.
Nope, he's not letting go. So, Baron Delgado, taking heed as to what is exactly going on here, is also going to attempt to rip Alfonso off. That dice pool is wimpy. Okay. But you could also see that Baron Delgado is not necessarily having
No,
all that good of a
but
time. So
he's -1. Well, I did promise dinner and a show. This is one hell of a show. Can't call me a liar.
yeah, I can't call you a liar. Let's see. I'm gonna fucking make up some stats. I forgot to finish this character sheet. I did not realize that I would be doing a combat challenge for him. So
It's all right. If
yeah.
this continues, though, I'm ending this combat in the next round.
Okay. Okay, so Baron Delgado has one success. Let's see if he can beat Alfonso.
So Alfonso's now at a -2 because he's already taken 2 actions.
Yes.
Jeez, he's rolling athletics for this. Oh,
To
okay.
maintain his grip.
Ah, okay.
But he bestial crits. He just kind of shoves Delgado out of the way as Delgado goes to try and pull him away, but it seems that all attempts to pull those fangs out of M's wrist are not succeeding at this point, and so this would constitute a new round here.
Okay.
He, as his first action, is going to spend a willpower to regain control of himself for a round.
Okay.
And realizing that what he's done, he just kind of lets go, his fangs retract, and he just falls on the ground and puts his hands up. Look. Okay, we're cool.
He looks to Baron Delgado as he laughs. He's just like, come on, Baron Delgado, you gotta be amused by this as he looks over. Oh, that is adorable. Oh, I can see why you pardoned this one, here, Baron Delgado. I can see why you did. Oh, this is a thing of beauty. Are you all right, Baron?
I'm
It's been
fine.
a while since you've seen some action, I imagine.
It's been a little while, yes.
Ah, fantastic.
So,
You observe.
you still want to keep this one?
More than ever. I did promise a dinner and a show, and I have provided both along with your thin blood.
That you did. I appreciate the entertainment, Mr. Doyle.
And now I believe discussion of payment. More so on to maintain the secrecy of this particular action.
Yes.
After all, you would not have come here on your own if you did not intend for this to be secret.
Keen.
Alfonso, take yourself into the basement and take a moment to cool off while the adults speak. Understand if you trash anything down there. I'm always free to take that life boon back.
Okay. Cool. Um, yeah.
And lock the door behind him and stay here. I want you to hear this.
And so Alfonso goes towards the basement.
Once the door's locked, you are protecting someone. Are you not?
Perhaps.
This someone must be very important to you.
What makes you say that?
Because if this thin blood ended up committing any form of trouble, you in your wisdom would need to publicly announce that it is okay and you would have an uproar. Crush him and you would have bleeding hearts. Calling for you. You are in an unknown situation, but the obvious question would be, who is the sire of this thin blood?
Yes.
That sire is someone you need to maintain this operation.
Yes, and the relationship has been a little rocky.
And you want to preserve that relationship.
Yes.
And this is why you tried to deceive me with me here near believing that one of my own was the one to call in the the breach. Yes.
Say again. I didn't understand you.
This is why you made me believe. Oh God, I'm forgetting this. One of my own of the warlocks
Yes.
was the one to call in the breach, so you could hide them.
Yes. Well. The breach needed to be contained, as you well know.
Of that I am fine, and I honor the name Baron Delgado. And I honor him still by saying that this secret will remain. But since we cannot gain prestation with this action, we will not be recognized.
Yes. Recognition.
We cannot, for it would then ask questions of you.
This is true. So, you would like recognition in some other fashion, perhaps?
We have proven our competency.
Quite.
And you have proven a generous individual. Most generous indeed is the barons who end up maintaining their post. I wish to aid you in maintaining that post, but that means I must be more knowledgeable of the city, of its goings and comings. I must be able to educate those younger than us, those younger than yourself and I. And this requires vast resources, vast contacts.
Yes, it does.
For this, I will end up asking a major boon. And in doing so, your kingdom will be maintained because it is in my best interest. And our maintaining is in your best interest.
This is true.
I think this is most agreeable.
Yes. I can give you a name of someone I know. I cannot personally attend to the information whims at the moment,
Hmm.
but I do know someone. Would their name suffice?
That is a beginning. That consider that the interest upon such a grand boon,
Hmm.
and in service to you, Baron Delgado, I will try and make sure Alfonso becomes an upstanding citizen amongst the barony.
Thank you.
He is yours to command, as his life is in my hands, and you command me.
Indeed. You'll be looking for a Nosferatu named Bjor.
Bjor. Tell me of Bjor.
He's an arrogant bastard, but he's useful. He's knowledgeable.
Fantastic.
He has a personal dislike for me. Why, I don't know. But that is the name. Amongst so far as I understand, he has a very good standing relationship with the other Nosferatu of the city, so I'm sure you can get whatever you need.
Fantastic. I appreciate that, Delgado, and when I see Bjor, I will make it clear that we have common interests, he and I, when it comes to you. It is in all of our best interest that you remain proper and in good health.
Yes.
Praise be to Baron Delgado. He looks to M, expecting her to speak that as well.
Praise be Baron Delgado.
Please. I do not need that kind of exuberance.
Be well. If there is nothing else I can do for you, Baron Delgado, I wish you a good evening.
Thank you very much for dinner, Mr. Doyle. I shall be on my way.
I open the door and I bow deeply in humble servitude.
He stands tall, and he walks out.
Urien waits for the vehicle as he watches to make sure Baron Delgado is long since gone.
His vehicle makes its way out of the parking lot down the street, and you can no longer see it over the very flat geography that is San Antonio.
God damn it. He rushes over immediately to M after he's done so, and he grabs hold of her hand and he's checking it. He's checking the wound. There's this concern as he looks over it. No. You did so well, M. You did
You
so
said
well.
theatrics.
Yes, I did. And that could not have gone any better. It gone better than I could have hoped.
I'm glad.
Are you in pain?
She kind of looks at it.
It is torn to shreds.
I keep my composure, but yes.
Take a moment to heal. And then we will go to Alfonso. Try, focus the blood. Gain back your fingers.
So if you want to heal a point of aggravated damage, M, you will roll 3 rouse checks.
Okay.
And you can do 1 point of aggravated per night.
Aggravated is tough and it's heavy on blood.
Yeah, it is.
3 rouse checks?
Yep. You're good.
Oh, sorry.
No, it's good. Do another.
One more.
Okay.
This can cost you no blood, or it can cost you up to 3 blood.
Oh, okay, sweet.
So we're not sure on how much blood 1 health is actually healing. Oh my god, that is the best roll you could have ever hoped.
For whatever reason, your beast is silent. As you rouse your blood and you knit the flesh, you recreate your fingers. You have some semblance of fingernails at the moment. The skin has overlaid, but you can still feel that the bones are a little bit sensitive still.
Mm.
But it is whole.
Yeah.
Sensitive, but whole.
At least I have my hand back.
Yeah. You
Yeah.
have made me so proud.
She's just kind of sputtering, speechless, as she's just, oh, I, I wanted to help. And when I say I have somebody's back, I mean it.
Loyalty is a trait rarely seen amongst kindred. It makes me right about. Now, that being said, has Alfonso, do I figure Alfonso's had enough time to kind of regain himself?
Yeah, he's been down there probably 5, 10 minutes, 15 minutes at this point.
Fantastic. It's at this point he opens the door and he takes M by the good hand, walking her down as the proper lady that she should be treated as, then in an old-timey fashion. As he walks down the steps, I don't know, how does Alfonso look?
He's kind of gone up against a wall, just kind of sitting there, kind of still a little high strung, but the energy has dropped. The feel of the room is not as tense as the upstairs had been a moment ago. He's calmed to an extent.
Fantastic. Alfonso. I have to give it to you. That was quite the performance you just ended up giving. I couldn't have hoped for better. He.
What? You were hoping for that?
Very much so.
The fuck?
Alfonso, if I could not appease Baron Delgado by showing him that I am here to uphold his laws, and my sense of justice mirrored his own, in brutal and cunning fashion, he would have demanded your head. He would
That's
have to, as this is not the first time your name has crossed his ear. Masquerade is not something we can forgive. I can forgive the theft. I have had it paid back to me. I could forgive you damaging my protege. In a moment of frenzy, we all know the beast. So I am not here to berate you for that momentary weakness when you're afraid and hungry.
yeah. God, that was intense and all at once. What did you expect me to do?
I expected you to succumb to your beast.
Well, I guess I lived up to your expectations then.
Yes, and I hope you continue to do so. Show him your hand.
She reaches her hand out forward into the dim light of the basement and rotates it.
Well, that's good. At least it's not shredded.
We're going to begin the lesson now. You have wounded her. Where do you even begin?
I'm sorry?
Don't tell me, tell her.
He looks to M. And he just kind of he kind of swallows hard for a second and kind of lowers his head a little bit and says, "I'm sorry. It
And
it was an impulse."
I believe it. You wouldn't let go of my hand even if I punched you.
Yeah, I'm kind of squirrely that way.
M will be your teacher, as I am hers. It is her blood that will sustain you for the moment. For the next...
Like, that's kind of weird.
No more than stealing it from humans, but at this point, I have not given you permission to hunt in this location. And this is the most forgiving result I have seen in decades. Do you understand that?
Yeah. Maybe. I don't know.
If I am to be honest with you, yeah, Alphonse, I would take the blood if I were you. If only on the fact that that offers you a bit to feed. Do not strain yourself. And in a few nights' time, we're going to let the leash a little bit looser each time. As you show, you can maintain control.
How do you do it?
I remember there are people counting on me. He looks down. I remember that every moment I do not maintain. Somebody dear to me. He reaches up and caresses the side of her face. Someone dear to me will be harmed. I make my fist of iron, and my will doubly so. Because if I do not, my beast, or the beasts of those around me, will harm the ones I care for. And if someone were to do that, I would make it my life's mission to destroy that person and eradicate all trace of their existence.
Right.
To you, Alphonse, I show a mercy because one of my students said that your life was worth it. Are you prepared to prove them right?
Yeah. I'll do whatever.
I know you will. Do you understand what a life boon is, Alfonso?
I imagine it's exactly what it says on the tin.
Your life is mine. Every action, every command is to be followed to the letter.
Okay. I am essentially your slave now. Okay.
Now, I could be cruel, and far more so than you've seen before. You have not earned that kindness yet. You have to prove it to M first. when she tells me that you are ready. After you have imbibed her blood, you have joined her on the hunt to assist her in hunting, for it is her blood that will feed you. And once that has happened, once you have found your bearings and your strength, then, and only then, I will release you into this domain. Freedom to rebuild yourself as something more than this lowly waste of blood I see before me.
Okay. Guess I don't have any other choice.
The
That
fact,
sucks.
the fact that you are still above ground gives you opportunity. You do. I will leave him in your charge. Try not to let him bite you again.
I'll
When
make
you are
sure.
ready, he looks to you and looks to the bike lock. When you are done, come speak to me. I leave this in your hands. And he starts to move upstairs.
Alfonso just looks at you, just kind of dumbfounded.
Sort of slowly saunters over with her arms crossed, almost smiling. Well, we're gonna become awfully close.
So I gathered. Cool.
Don't disappoint me.
I have no plans to. I really, really don't.
One can plan, but when it comes to action, something there can happen.
No, no, I won't let you down.
You promise.
Yeah, I promise.
Good. We'll be good friends then. Do you need anything for the night?
No, I'm good. I'm still kind of hungry, but I'm good.
Hmm. Well, do you need any help understanding what happened tonight?
I just need to process. I think I'll be good.
Understandable.
Maybe tomorrow I'll be good. Cool. Um,
Well,
yeah.
and she walks over and grabs the bike lock and kind of shakes it for him to come to her, almost beckoning him.
God,
Come on,
this is fucking humiliating.
it's better than being dead. Come on.
And he walks forward. He's kind of defeated at this point.
Listen. And she's putting the bike lock on him as she's talking to him. I have faith in you, and Urien has faith in me, and I don't like letting him down. So, keep your chin up. And she kind of puts the bike lock so he has to put his chin up.
Mm.
And
That's kind of uncomfortable.
so was my hand getting ripped off, but
That's
I'm
fair.
not bitter.
That's very, very fair.
I'll leave you with your thoughts. Okay?
Okay. Bye.
And she locks it and moves the chair away from him so he's unable to sit.
Mm.
And walks up the stairs. And locks the door behind her.
And Urien is there.
Urien is looking out the window, observing what he can of the city, in contemplation.
She slowly approaches him in a similar manner she almost did Alfonso. Thinking as well.
I have made my opening gambit. It makes it very clear, and we have a better assessment of Delgado. I have learned much in observing. He turns as he looks at the hand that is currently over his shoulder. That wound.
You worry too much. And she
I
kind of
do.
puts her hand away.
I worry because you are my charge. I care for you. I cannot show kindness to Alfonso till he is undead. But you, I hope that you grow as fond of him as I am of you.
And she kind of takes a step back. I don't want to let you down, Urien,
But
I'll try. I shouldn't rule myself out yet as a teacher, but I won't not even try.
do you think it was easy the first time I had to end up teaching?
No.
No. They make mistakes. They fumble and they waddle like babies. But sooner or later they must learn to stand. And if his sider cannot do it, I believe one I have taught is more than capable. This is how we build. If I simply ran into the thin blood on the street, this whole mess could have been avoided. He could have been one of us. But Delgado, his presence makes it very clear we cannot.
So we have to appease him until...
We have to make him respect our position. Tonight we have gained large advantage. He will sit to mitigate it. He will start by observing what we do next. He is fearful that we move against him. He should be worried, but not from us.
Not from us?
No. This game I play is about tiny movements. This move would have been made by a neonate trying to overreach, but I did not. I did not make demands of him. I made it sound as though it was fair compensation for work. And in order to appease, to appear fair, he must abide. I
big,
have. Go on.
I was just gonna say a big smile is on M's face at the moment.
What do you think, Em? This dance I do amongst barons and elders. Tell me, give me the honesty of a child.
Um, dare I say it's almost beautiful. It's learning what steps to take to dance with that partner you have for the evening. It's learning the different steps to an entire waltz. It's a process, but once complete, it leaves me excited for the prospects of future and what to build. It's completely enraptured my mind, if I'm going to be completely honest.
I asked you, but 2 nights ago, to look out the city and tell me what you see. Now that you have learned the lesson, look again and tell me what you see.
Potential, opportunity, a place where I can leave a mark.
This is why I had come to America.
You're not originally from here?
No. Mm, yes and no. Let us say I've spent quite some time abroad.
Mm.
But first and foremost, I would know your mind, and for as much as I could, I would know the woman who stands with me. For now, you are my pupil, but in time, I know more than my match. And if I were to be so fortunate, maybe in 100 years, a wonderful rival where we can play this game with each other to sharpen wit and hone virtue to steal.
She goes quiet. Doesn't really respond.
Do you know why I had you feed the thin blood?
Not exactly. Don't I don't assume, but if I were to, a pawn, something we can use. It
No,
has utility.
he does. But you look at him as a pawn. You look at him as our pawn. He is not our pawn. He is yours. Your first piece on a magnificent board for a game that has stretched out for ages across the world. And now you have your first ability to play. The first card in the hand that you have been dealt. I have faith in you, Em, as I have faith in Wolf. great teachers and guiders of this city. And I will become reliant on that vision as I age, as I can no longer keep with time. I will be like an old cripple to you. And when I build that level of resentment, I only hope you remember these events and don't judge an old man so harshly.
Why can't I share my pawn? Why do you say that he's mine and not ours? Do I really have to be that cutthroat out here?
You must be prepared to be so. That is why I did what I did. So you can keep what's left of your soul, if you were to believe in such things. That is what I do.
I see.
There will come a time where I must ask upon you. And you will have to end up playing the game with me or against me. And I would consider it the highest insult if a protege of mine were unable to keep up and not give me a dance worth the music.
She bites her lip, obviously not wanting to accept what he's saying, but still taking it in. I think I should go upstairs, Urien. I need to rest.
Very well. I must go out for a nightly jaunt. There is one last thing I must do. And then we will hope Wolf will have come to his senses. Perhaps with good news.
Yes.
And that
Urien. Go ahead.
no, if you have more, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was just gonna say we take a break.
Alright.
Mm-hmm.
Sounds good.
Let's take a quick 10-minute break, and we'll come back and see what is next for Urien and M. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back, everyone, to San Antonio by Night, our lovely little Vampire the Masquerade 5th Edition Chronicle. Where we left off, Em and Urien had finished their deal with Baron Delgado and have taken under their wing the Thin Blood Alfonso Hendrick, who they had been instructed to apprehend with this new recruit in their possession now. The next step is up to our coterie. So what do you wish to do?
You can go first this time.
Alright. As Emma's leaving up the stairs, she looks down at Urien wherever he's headed or going. She asks herself a question, and this question she wants answered. She needs answers, but she's just too afraid to ask him.
What's got you so afraid to ask him directly?
He plays his cards really well. As he said, I just got my first. But I can't help but feel he's already got a hand. I care for him, but this is a new place. These are new things. And it's all happening really quickly. I don't doubt him, but I know he's not ready to tell me things, but I need to know just what he intends for the city.
It's a big question. What do you plan to do about it?
I'd like to kind of force a premonition.
Okay.
See if I can find an answer to that.
So you open your mind to the universe. Let it flow through you. Flow through the vitae coursing through your system. Roll me a rouse check. Did it accidentally roll twice?
I think it might have. Do I just need a reroll?
No. I'm just gonna take the first instance.
Okay.
So it is successful. The opening of your mind does not cause you and your beast to get any more hungry. Go ahead and roll your premonition check.
Just the premonition?
Yes, there should be I don't remember exactly what it is, but I think I have it set up for the roll. That is resolve plus aspects.
Oh, plus aspects.
That would be plus discipline on your sheet.
Okay. And just no modifiers. Bam.
Ooh, that's 5 successes.
That is almost perfect.
Yeah. So when you open your mind, what you see before you is a field. And again, you see that black snake curling and coiling through the grass. Eventually, you do see that it starts to consume its own tail. But the added feature that you see is that in the pattern of this black snake, there's a golden symbol. A sword and a scepter. And when you look up to the sky is white. brick-like. And the vision fades.
I take a deep breath in, and I take one last look at him and smile before I hurry to my room.
Is there anything else you wish to do tonight, Em?
No. I need to think. I need a process. As much as Alfonso needs to, I guess.
There's certainly a lot of contemplation going on in this house. Urien, what are you up to?
I am waiting for the other shoe to drop. You come with a certain degree of pessimism. When everything's going your way, there is always something to throw it off. I have to see to M's wounds. Make sure she has a way to feed. I need to make it easier on her. And tomorrow, I end up contacting the doc. I'm going to need to end up gaining a certain amount of cash very soon. But, that being said, I first need to end up giving Randy a call. I go to the payphone. I observe around. I suspect one as competent as Randy may already have found the location. So I observe for onlookers, individuals who will come see me. I may be in the open next to a convenience store, but that does not mean that, well, I cannot be found.
Go ahead and roll a Wits plus Awareness.
Of course.
Everything seems fine. There's no one around, there's no one nearby. The convenience store just has people going in and out, but they're minding their own business.
I reach for the payphone and start to dial Randy. I keep my back towards the payphone so I can observe everything coming towards me.
And you do get an answer. Randy does pick up the phone. Yeah?
Good evening, Randy. It is Mr. Doyle.
Mr. Doyle. What can I do you for?
I wanted to assure you that your child had received nothing more than a light spanking for his misbehavior, and is now in my grip. I will care for him to the best of my ability to maintain your interests.
How generous of you.
How generous indeed. Still, I will soon wish to end up meeting you face to face, as I would like to know your mind on the situation proper.
Well, that might have to wait until tomorrow evening. I'm a little busy tonight.
Why ever for?
I got a job to do after all.
I hope it doesn't involve anything in my neck of the woods.
Nah, nowhere near. I promise.
I'd like to insight that.
Okay, roll wits plus insight at a -2 because you cannot see him.
One success.
He's being as vague as anyone really would be over a phone.
Yeah, that's to be expected, but doesn't sound like he might be misleading me.
It doesn't sound like he's misleading you. He's just being
Cautious.
cautiously vague. As would one in your circumstance.
Of course. That is fantastic. Is there anything you wish for me to convey to the child?
Not at the moment. I'll see him tomorrow.
You seem certain.
So do you.
Very well then. Tomorrow, we will explain the arrangement we have made with our mutual friend. And then you can explain this situation to us. It sounds like you've gotten yourself into a bit of hot water, and I'd rather have all the cards on the table so we can work this out together.
How noble.
If I wasn't, we would not be having this discussion. And
I understand that.
you do not care for me, Randy. But no, I care a great deal for you. And yours.
See you tomorrow then? Midnight?
I'll call you with a time, with a proper place.
Fair enough.
I was thinking the mall, but that could change.
Yeah.
It seems only fitting.
Well, let me know. I should be a bit done with work about then, so.
Fantastic. Oh. And do give Wolf my sincerest regards. He hangs up.
And you have hung up the phone.
And with that, he can smile. And he starts to walk back home. Observing. He watches the living as they go by. He observes the cars going by. He even turns on Sense the Unseen as he does so. Come out, wherever you are.
Not a peep. There's no one bothering.
No one. No thing.
No thing either.
With that, I make my way down the secret paths, through the woods, through the ways that few would know, save for those who live in this domain, to go back home.
Is there anything else you both plan to do tonight?
At this point, there is. I wish to end up speaking with them. one last time.
Where can he find you when he walks inside him?
She's in her room, but she's sketching in one of her favorite notebooks. Just sketches, nothing more.
He knocks on the door once he's finished.
She quickly puts her notebook away in the drawer and makes sure to close it as quietly as she can. And she gets up and answers the door. Urien, would you come in?
Thank you. He seats himself down. When he comes in, he seats himself maybe on the corner of the bed.
Is everything all right?
I am unsure. I try to predict things when I can, but certain moves were not made. It leaves me curious. He looks to you. I have been doing a lot of speaking to you, in hopes to reach you. In these moments, I'd rather listen. Would you be so kind as to tell one as I a story?
A story.
Listen. Just speak your mind, whatever it be.
She approaches him and sits down next to him and opens up her hand to take his. But she doesn't grab it, she kind of waits.
He does so, with the softness of a gentleman.
I don't know many good stories here yet.
It does not have to be a good story, All I ask is for you to end up giving me your heart, whatever it is that weighs upon it. I am your teacher and mentor, but I am also a friend. And this has been a shocking series of events. As beautiful as the dance is, it can be trying at times. And I said I would know your mind if you would be so kind as to offer it.
Well, I don't even know. She almost seems frustrated. What? Well, let me tell you this. And she kind of readies herself. Once, I dreamt that I saw a field. And it was so serene. And within the field, there was the slightest movement. Wheat being moved by something pushing it. And as my eyes wandered across the field, and as the movement gained closer, I saw that it was a snake. A black snake. Simple as it was curling and coiling through grass. And even though its existence seemed so peaceful, it began to consume its own tail. And in the blackness of the snake, gold resonated. And when I looked to the sky, it was white. When I could no longer look at the snake, I could only look at the sky. And that's when I woke up. And that was my dream.
Do you often dream of white sky?
I think this was the first. It was almost serene in the peace that I felt like it could bring.
If I could bring peace in such a manner, I would consider myself the greatest. I would consider myself the greatest kindred who ever walked the nights.
I don't know many kindred, Urien, but I call it intuition. But I believe in you. And I believe in you. Even though I don't know what your intentions are, I believe in them.
My intentions.
Everybody has them. Even I. We don't act with our actions without some form of intent out of what we'll receive. You can't. That's what you've taught me.
No, you cannot.
Urien, who was your sire? Do you even remember who they were?
Yes. Jacques Colin de Plancy, a Frenchman. He was a man ahead of his time. Jacques was a individual who was interested in ceremonies and scriptures. And he thinks back. And yet, for some odd reason, it is a name that has died in its enthusiasm. I am sure he is still around, still part of a grand pyramid. He once called me, to return to glorious heights of Camarilla, to rejoin the tower.
And you
I
didn't
had
go?
no. There is my heart does not exist in a pyramid. I believe I can find my heart here. He gives the hand a little squeeze.
Some red is seeping from M's eyes.
He wipes it aside.
Yes.
Please speak.
I don't know
Forget.
if joy is
Go.
a part of this world, but I want our little group to have it. I don't know. I'm tired of all this dog eat dog shit.
When I was young, I felt much the same. I scraped and clawed for every little scrap I could. Under my sire, I had tried to surmount to something. And yet, and yet, their teachings made me strong in ways I could not have predicted when I was so young. But now we are in true anarch territory. Dog eat dog is to me it is the only thing that makes me feel alive anymore. What would your heart want them to see the ballet or opera, to attend a carnival, you know, go upon the flashing lights and rides, to dine with a handsome gentleman, or a lady perhaps, I hear that is in vogue now. I do not know.
Maybe I'll take you up on that offer of an opera one day.
Phantom. Oh, how I missed its performance. But I asked what your heart wants. Truly, speak it and let it be done.
I want to stop running. That's all. That's all I want.
Is there a window in this room that hasn't been boarded or something that's easily to access the city?
If you go out on the front porch, you could easily see the city.
Okay. He opens the door to look outside, to gesture at him. We do not run, you and I. This is our castle. This is our fortress. These lands are ours to hold. We prepare it. We prepare the battlements. We prepare the soldiers. We find our little ways to develop. Because we do not run them. This is ours. By right of strength and right of blood.
And Urien,
All this
you
is
hear in
yours.
the back of your mind, our tower.
Yes. Yeah. It is ours. We do not run. We do not run. He wipes the corner of his eye. Not sure why that red's there.
Is M next to Urien at all? Can she move up to him?
Yeah.
Most certainly.
Seeing he's obviously red's coming down his face. She uses her sleeve and wipes it away, eyes trying to meet Urien's. Urien, are you all right?
Nostalgia. Nothing more. Nothing more.
She pulls him in for a hug really quick. She makes sure to hold him and pull him as deeply as she can into her.
It'll be yours. I promise you.
Liliana.
It'll be yours, Liliana.
And that,
Yeah.
I think, is where we should end our session for tonight.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Good job, guys.
Holy wows.
What'd you think?
I'm speechless.
I hope you enjoyed.
Good game, guys. Good game.
Yeah.
Oh man, I live for
The
that
music
moment
was
at the
so
end.
on point. Oh my god.
All right. So now is the time that we hand out XP.
Mm.
One for each of you for showing up. Congrats.
Yay.
Yay. Best scene.
That's really hard.
Volvo was not prepared for this.
Oh my god, Urien does have a soul.
Ah. I poked at it. It was fun.
You're so evil.
I am. You know me. Do either of you have a candidate for best scene?
I gotta give it to Urien at the end there. It was so good. So good.
I'm not gonna argue it.
Mm. It was
I'm
juicy and
kinda
delicious.
sad. That one out. No, I was surprised.
Hmm. Who moved the plot?
Yeah, that one I'm stealing. I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Hashtag arm wrestle.
Magic.
And amongst this pair, I don't see one-liners hardly at all, but unless you guys got one.
Yep. That one immediately ends up going to M. It's like, just trust him. Moments before he's about to get fucking eaten.
Yes. Oh, yes. I dig it.
Oh gosh.
Delightful. So yeah, M, you get that one.
Yay! Oh god, that is good. I didn't even realize it.
Yeah. So
I couldn't stop giggling when that happened. I was like, oh my god. Oh god. Okay, so here's the question.
Yes. Mr. Derek.
I am really wanting to spend experience, but
Okay.
I'm not sure if I should. I'm not sure which way I should spend it.
Okay. Is it are you asking thematically appropriate or in character appropriate? Or is it
Combination.
okay.
It has to do with, I believe, the dream that was discussed
Mm.
and what was just said
Mm.
can constitute. I believe it can actually constitute as to bring back something old, something that Urien hasn't done in a while, but something he knows, something familiar.
Mm. Okay.
I'm thinking I might spend 5 points to get my first dot and dominate.
Okay. And that is a clan
Or,
discipline for Tremere at the point, yes?
yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Then yeah, I would
Uh,
say that that's thematically appropriate.
or I can spend 6 experience out of my 7,
Mm.
and I can get us up resources 2 as a coterie. Which would be
I would say
Delgado paying us back in his tithe, as it were.
if you want it in the form of cash, I'd let you take that.
So that's where I'm arguing.
Yeah, if you want the rest of the boon in the form of cash, then we can consider it paid.
No, no. Major boon is something I'm gonna hang on to. I mean, I'm gonna milk that for credit card interest.
Ah, okay.
So it's gonna be little thing, little thing, little thing, because these little things do not amount to a major boon.
Mm.
Eh,
Major boon does constitute some amount of risk
yep.
on part of the boon payer, not the payee.
Yep. I am going to take 1 dot dominate, and I am going to take command.
Perfect. In character and thematically appropriate.
Finally, my character sheet is complete again.
Hello? How may I help you, sir?
Compel. Compel. And that is, for his dice, it's going to be charisma plus discipline, which is dominate at 1, and he's going to receive +1 to all die rolls.
That's for your blood potency, right?
That is correct.
Perfect. M, is there any experience you would like to spend?
Mm,
Or
So-
a concept of something that you would like to spend it on?
mm,
Because I know you don't really have much in the way of the resources.
mhm. I only have 7 experience, so I don't know exactly what can be put towards that.
You
What I
can
use that for.
uh you can spend it on a number of things. So if you're what are you looking to gain? What do you feel like you would have gained by this point?
I feel like I definitely feel like she. Would I be able to get a discipline?
The new level times 5 for your clan
Mm,
disciplines. So if you are looking to up it to a 2, you'd need 10.
right,
If you're looking to up it to a 3, it's 15 and so forth.
right.
If it's not part of your clan, as in one that you probably got from your feeding type, then it would be 7 times.
Okay. Because we do need like more resources and stuff.
And skills are 3 times per level. So it's 3 for the first dot, 6 for the second, and so forth. And backgrounds are 3 flat per dot.
Okay.
Specialties are 3 flat. If you're looking to improve, I mean, not that you could, but the traits are 5 times the new level. So if you're looking to up your 1 dot to a 2, it's 10 experience.
Okay.
Wherever that might lie.
What
are you thinking about thematically? Maybe I can help you out with that.
I mean, with the thin blood being around, she now kind of has a person to deal with. And I mean, he could be utilized.
I would say 1 dot retainer.
Yeah.
Or if you have 6 experience,
I have like
2
7.
dots retainer. Oh, you have 7? Yeah, I would say. Would you say the thin blood 2 dot retainer?
2 dot retainer is up to a ghoul.
Yeah, well, he is a thin blood, but no, I can understand.
Yeah.
Well, you might want to hold on to that experience and build it up.
Yeah, you can always save it if you don't know, or if you don't know now, or if you don't know thematically later on. Something. Because I think you, as M, are kind of playing into your disciplines. Not that that's a bad thing. But that's something that M seems to be concentrating on because that's what she's seeking answers from.
So I would say build that up because that's just the muscle you've been flexing the most.
That is the muscle you've been flexing the most. You haven't really been doing a whole lot in the way of skill checks, and you haven't really been doing a whole lot to spread your wings through the city. So I would say that since you've been using your premonition a lot, that you've been kind of flexing your discipline muscles. So you can save it up for that, or you can always take something different. Just let me know.
Okay, yeah, low-key have been wanting to hoard my experience to get more premonition stuff.
Yeah, Auspice.
Just wasn't sure how much I could spend on it or how much was required, kind of deal.
Yeah, to go to 3 dots Auspice, let's see, you're at 2 right now. Then you would need 15 experience to up it up to 3, or 10 experience to up Dominate to 2, or right now you could take Obfuscate 1 if you wanted to do something stealthy, but thematically, I don't know if that works for him, but that's up to you.
I mean, as much as I'd want it, like you said, thematically, I don't think it really fits. ATM.
That's, like I said, that's up to you, because Obfuscate level 1 gives you either Cloak of Shadows or Silence of Death.
What is Silence of Death?
You walk and you don't make a sound.
You know how you can walk and somebody's upstairs and they know exactly where you are? Doesn't make a goddamn sound. Your ability to lift a jar a window open doesn't make a sound. The ability to lockpick doesn't make that annoying ticking sound. Literally anything short of large bang to announce your presence, no one hears you.
Yep. You're not invisible, but you are very, very quiet.
I kind of like that.
It's almost like you emanate silence.
Because, I mean, like, she was trying to be sneaky when talking to the Thin Blood. Trying to be quiet so she wouldn't wake Urien.
Yeah. And that's an example.
That's an example.
Oh, can I take it? I want it.
Do it.
I want to know. It sounds so cool.
Take your first dot and Obfuscate. And take Silence of Death.
Things are only as useful as you make them. Just remember that.
Yeah. Yeah. That's entirely true.
what one of the things of expert vampire players is they tend not to leave what they're good at a whole lot because
Mm,
this way they just have this overwhelming dice pool experience to be able to say, yeah, it just happens my way,
Mm.
mm.
right?
Perfect. Perfect. Well, was there anything else? That's 5 experience to take your first obfuscate, and then you have 2 left to save up for
Yep.
whatever else next.
Mhm.
So yeah, welcome, welcome. Thank you, thank you.
Yeah. So as far as boons,
Mm-hmm. You're gonna want to keep track of
uh,
those when you get them,
okay, so that is well
because
right
I'm
now.
not gonna remember sometimes. If you keep good
Bar-
notes, I'm
Baron
okay with it.
Baron Delgado owes Urien
Major boon. Yep.
a major boon.
Man, that's pricey. That's a big one.
And it's for not only finding Alfonso but keeping this encounter a secret.
Mm.
Then there is Alfonso, who owes Urien a life boon. Saving
Cause you fucking saved his
life
ass.
from
Um, Emma, I don't know what your desire means.
Oh, sorry, that might have been from last session.
Hmm.
I probably didn't change it. My bad. But did you
Sorry, say again.
get
You're kind of breaking up.
Yeah, you're breaking up
what
hard.
I'm?
I think you're back now.
Oh, did I bloop out a bunch of times?
Yep.
Ah, dang. I was just trying to figure out if I had told you earlier
Hmm.
what I want, but I'm just gonna resend it. So re-put it in there.
Okay. I'm gonna make a correction on your health
Please
because
do. I don't know how to do
I
it.
forgot to instruct you on how to mark aggravated health damage. So, um, the single slash is superficial damage. An X is aggravated, and what we healed was an aggravated. So you've got this one back. So on the next night after you've slept, you will be able to, whether or not you want to or not, heal that last aggravated health damage.
Okay.
That being said, I believe that fulfills both my desire and my one puts me one close step closer to my ambition.
Yeah, I would say so.
Thankfully, I didn't.
You haven't
Thankfully, I
suffered
didn't have
any
to take.
aggravated willpower damage, so you're
Yeah,
getting off a little
but if
scot
at any
free.
point,
I need to start ticking that for you. Damn,
it's okay.
you're moving fast,
I
man.
no, I'm just I a piece of advice, right?
Mm,
Make your desire simple and baby steps to what you want to get.
that's
Right?
true.
It doesn't have to be huge. It could just be I want to meet with this person, right? You can make it all but a guarantee, but this is what you desire, this is what you want, right? And this
Mm,
is what you're trying to get.
right.
So,
But yeah, for next session, go ahead and fill out a new desire,
Mm-hmm.
and you'll be able to start at full willpower next session.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how that works.
Okay.
Any other questions that you two have for me before we sign off?
yeah.
Mm-mm.
Not taking votes from the audience this time, right? Because there's only 2 players.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Um.
I mean,
Anything you
that's your
want to see?
shtick. I haven't
That's my
really,
shtick.
I haven't implemented that yet. So
You
I
all bit my whole shtick, you uninspired hack.
I am an uninspired hack. What of it?
I love you.
I love you too.
Sorry, I had to quote ERB.
Yes, I'm a hack. I know it.
No, no, you're not. You're fantastic.
I try.
Yeah,
I'm
you do
good at the
better than
emotional
try.
bits. I'm not good at the political bits. So
It's okay. It's okay, right? The second you signed me on, you knew you were gonna get a taste of the deep end. I just hope I haven't gotten so deep as it's a bad thing.
I need to go back and make my own notes. It's fine.
Are you okay? God, I was the one who's playing the crying scene. But
Oh, I
okay.
loved that. It was so
It was
good.
so good.
It touched my heart. I needed to poke it. It's
Yeah.
fine.
No, it was fantastic. Uh, Nostalgia.
I'm vindictive.
Nothing more. I will play up to that shit. I will play up to that shit all fucking day.
Do it.
But
Do it. That's my shtick.
I know. Let's see here. I need to think of a new desire. I'm having a hard time with the. Ooh, I
You
know.
have all week to do it, so. But yeah, we will be back next week, hopefully adding a wolf. And yeah, so stay tuned for episode 5 of San Antonio by Night as we continue to tell a vampire story in the Alamo City. Say goodnight, everybody.
Good night.
Good night.